Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to what was on sale at the grocery store today. And chicken leg quarters, a loonie a pound, or if you're 30 years younger than me, a toonie a kilo for chicken leg quarters. Pretty good deal. So I bought a bunch of them. I put some in the freezer to use later. Tonight I'm only cooking two because there's only Julie and I here, and we'll probably eat that over 2 nights actually. So I saw a marinade in a magazine, and they called it Peruvian-style. So already their style is not Peruvian. It's just sort of based on something Peruvian. And I'm going to try and make it. I'm going to see what happens, whether I like it or not. It's got a lot of flavors in it that I think I will like. So let's give it a go. I've got the blend tech out, and to it I'm going to add a piece of ginger. I've just sort of cut it roughly up. I've got 4 garlic cloves. If you have a less capable blender, maybe grate the ginger and chop up the garlic a little bit before you put it in. But if you've been on the YouTubes as long as I have, you know the answer to will it blend is yes. To this we're going to add cumin, oregano, 2 red powders. One of them is cayenne and one of them is paprika. Got the juice of a couple limes, and they were really ripe. So 2 limes gave me a 1/4 cup of juice. In that goes. This is porter. So this is a beer that Julie and I brewed down in the basement. It's a really nice, dark, rich, malty, earthy flavored beer. Use any dark beer that you like. Use any light beer that you like. Just try to get something that isn't too hoppy, because hops in the cooking process tend to come out even more bitter than when you're drinking it in the glass. Now, there was no salt in the recipe, but I kind of think it needs salt. So I'm going to put in some salt. Same thing, there was no black pepper in the recipe, but I like black pepper, so I'm putting some in. Soy sauce, I'm using a dark tamari soy sauce. Use the soy sauce that you like, the one that you've got in your fridge. Really what it comes down to. And I also know that this one is not particularly salty. So that's why I'm adding the salt. If your soy sauce is really salty, you might not need to add salt to this. Give it a taste. And then balsamic vinegar. I mean, it is a rich, deep, dark vinegar. Should bring a lot of flavor. And here we go. So there's enough marinade here to do a whole chicken, maybe even 2 whole chickens. I don't know. There's quite a bit there. Like I said, I'm only doing the 2 chicken quarters. If you want to marinade in a Ziploc bag, go right ahead. This is what I use for marinating. My own personal preference, I'm not going to let this go for more than maybe 4 or 5 hours. I find that any marinade that has an acid component, and this has an acid component definitely, smells wonderful. You end up with, it changes the texture of the meat too much if you let it go overnight. Okay, so I've got the marinade in there. I'm going to flip these over, make sure that they're coated. So now that I've got them all in the marinade, I'll probably flip them every half hour or so. And if you're putting them into a Ziploc bag, do the same sort of thing. Just sort of grab it out and shake it and put it back in. Just to make sure that the marinade is coating everything and it gets everywhere and it gets soaked in. So, into the fridge, and I will see you back here in 4 or 5 hours. Getting close to dinner time. I'm going to roast some vegetables at the same time. So I wasn't sure how to flavor them. I've kind of been thinking, what would I do? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil down the marinade, or boil the marinade for a little bit, just to kind of make it safe. And then I'm going to add that to some oil and toss the veggies in it. And we'll see how that works out. Okay. marinade into the pot. I'm not going to need all of this. And we'll bring that to a boil. While that comes up to a boil, I'll get some olive oil out to mix it up. I think that should be enough. This boiling step is not strictly necessary because I'm putting the veg and the chicken in the oven to cook at the same time for the same amount of time at the same temperature. So I don't really need to pasteurize this in order to make the sauce or the marinade to put on the veg. But I do have a thought in the back of my head that maybe if I pasteurize this, there'll be a point where I could baste the chicken during the cooking. That might be a really good idea. So I'm just sort of gonna boil this. It's boiled. I'm gonna put a couple teaspoons or tablespoons into the oil to bring the flavor. Just like that. And then I'm gonna put this back on the heat. I'm gonna continue boiling it, see if I can thicken it up a little bit so that it makes a good basting liquid for the chicken. Okay, big bowl. I've got carrots, cauliflower, and broccoli. Pour in the oil and the spice mix. We'll toss to coat. Okay, I've got a baking tray, and we'll put the veg on the tray. Just level it out. If you can keep them from being stacked on top of each other, that's great. Okay, now I'm gonna put the chicken in. Just like that. And into the oven. And the oven is 375 convection roast. We'll see how long that takes.
Hey, Glen. Hey, friends. That smells fabulous.
So, long
What
shot.
do we got?
Long shot.
Is the long shot chicken? Is that something?
It's long shot chicken. That's what we're calling it. Okay, yes. Something I've never made before. A combination of spices that I've never put together before, but all things that we like.
Okay. Well, we like a lot of stuff.
So let's.
I so want to just start with the broccoli, of course.
I do too.
Because
you start with the
that's who
broccoli.
I am.
I'm going to have a piece of cauliflower. Oh.
Vegetables. Hurrah! All right.
Roasted veg.
Tastes like you put a little bit of the spice on the veg too.
A little bit. I didn't want to go heavy, so I only put a little bit on.
It's good.
Let's cut a little bit more of this leg meat off. Oh,
No need to cut.
no, looks really good, doesn't it? Okay, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of skin. That's pretty good.
It's a really nice, pleasant flavor. It's a really lovely flavor.
Yeah. It's not.
It's not overwhelming in any way. There's no spice that's saying, "Oh, that's definitely you've got this in it or that in it."
No.
It is.
It's well balanced.
It's a well balanced blend of spices.
Yeah. I can't get any more. I can't get more.
So what is on it?
So
I'm curious.
there's ginger, garlic,
Oh,
soy sauce,
okay.
balsamic vinegar, our porter, but a cup of our porter.
Oh, that tells me what I need to drink with it then.
Yep. Cayenne, smoked paprika, and two other things that I've forgotten. But
They'll remind me?
They'll remind me.
Okay, so knowing that a lot of those flavors usually often dominate, the smoked paprika, the ginger, they can really dominate a flavor and a spice mix. And that, though, is just,
It's not. Yeah.
it has flavor.
I could have probably put a little bit more in with the veg, but I wasn't sure if it would overwhelm it. But it complements it really nicely, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is a winner. Winner in the oven. If it wasn't February in our reality, this would go great on the grill.
Yes.
It'd be great on the grill. Boil down the sauce a little bit or the marinade a little bit more than I did. and use it as a base during. I basted this a couple times while it was cooking, and that'll really up the flavor. I think that would even go in a smoker really well. I think that would work out. Yeah, that would work out really well. So, third hand, not authentic-ish type meal, but it's a winner. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.